Hi Leo, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, if you haven't seen it, please don't forget to check out your May 2021 taroscope. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So before we start, your key to the week this week is the Lovers card. So yes, this is love, partnerships, relationships, sex, sensuality. It's all of those things. It can even be where you are choosing between one or two partners. It can also mean as well, depending on attending cards, it can represent a menage a trois. Definitely possible with this card, right? But the thing that I often say about this, it can and often does represent choice. It represents a decision, and very often it shows us where we do or don't have options. And I think this is something that you really need to get to grips with. Leo's been through a really interesting metamorphosis recently, and I kind of feel like one of the things that's coming up for you guys is a sense now of really starting to understand where the choice points are and what the decisions are that need to be made at this moment in time. Like, where is it that you are needing to really not even go in a new direction, but just make a choice, right? Like, am I going to stick with the path that I'm on, or am I going to take a different tack with it all? It does look like as well, some of you have been doing the whole balancing act or juggling act as well. For your actions and options this week, you have the Page of Cups. So one of the things that you are definitely choosing this week is a creative endeavor or project. This is going to see you being really, really creative. It's going to also see you really paying attention to your feelings. I think for a lot of Leos as well, this is going to be the week where you really start to understand what you need from a partner, what a relationship actually looks like for you. And I think sometimes when you make that choice, when you make that decision, that's when the offers really start to pour in. Now, the other thing with the Page of Cups, it's a very intuitive energy. And one of the things that really comes through with this whole pairing, as far as I can feel, this is going to be a week where making your decisions is going to be an intuitive process. It's not going to be all about the facts and the figures, certainly not until we get into Gemini season, you know, but it's not going to be all about that. But what comes up here is this week, by paying attention to how you feel, by listening to that really deep sense of intuition that resides within you, you will come to the conclusion that feels like the best one for you. And this is what you need to follow this week, right? Leo is ruled by, or Leo rules the heart. It rules the leadership and authority. It rules benevolence and generosity and all of those things. How about this week you give those things to yourself, right? Pay attention to what comes up on the heart space when you think about something, when a decision is put in front of you or needs to be made. Listen to that deepest part of yourself, tap into your intuition and go with what it says. You know, like the saying goes, like, your first instinct is usually the right one, or, you know, your gut instinct, or well, this week it's not your gut, it's your heart instinct. All right. For your communications and conversations, you have the Four of Pentacles. So one of these things, this is really interesting, right? One of the conversations that comes up this week is going to show you where you are getting in your own way. This suggests to me as well, this is also going to show you where you need to have more sticking power, where you need to have more staying put or stick-to-itiveness, as they say. The thing with the Four of Pentacles, it can be rigidity, right? So a conversation this week is going to show you where maybe you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's going to highlight to you where maybe you are, you know, where maybe the facts and the figures are actually getting in the way. It's definitely possible. For those of you that are working for somebody else, your Four of Pentacles sees you very focused on the work. It sees you paying attention to the, you know, the commitments that you've made on that level. The thing is, it's kind of like, for a lot of you, I kind of feel like this Four of Pentacles, it's like, I've got a specific goal. I want to buy a house. I want to save money. I want to buy a car. Like whatever it is, you've got a goal in mind, but it's like you're telling yourself that it can only be achieved one way. This week, I think you're going to discover that that is really not the case. And it's important that you allow that realization to be a big part of how you move forward. For those of you that work for yourselves, same sort of energy, you know, that whole message there. But this also suggests as well that you may be, in a lot of ways, when it comes to the professional sphere, it kind of suggests that maybe you've stopped growing. And this could see you really asking yourself, okay, what is the next step? What is the, you know, because at the moment, I'm just not sure of what it is. It's kind of like you're almost getting to that point where you're about to be stuck in a rut. And the only thing that's going to snap you out of it is the realization that you are getting in your own way. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, I mean, your Four of Pentacles could see you really getting your ducks in a row. It could see you really being very prudent when it comes to the finances, and maybe an opportunity will present itself. The problem is, it looks like you're going to try to procrastinate, and I don't think you have the time for it. For your money and materials, you have the Page of Swords. So you've got 2 pages here, right? 2 pages in the tarot represents disquiet. So this could be a week where there are a lot of communications, a lot of conversations. I want to say this to you as well. Anything this week that injects some fun, some light-hearted banter, or takes you out of the heavy and the serious is going to be really, really important. I think with the Page of Swords as well, this could be a job interview that comes up for some of you. It could be where you are discovering, yeah, maybe even a new avenue of work for some of you, or maybe even a new source of income or revenue. The thing is, it's going to take a lot more of your time and energy than maybe you are prepared for at this moment in time. For those of for your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your hands, your fingers, especially, like this whole sort of area. Pay attention to that, you know, look after your fingers. You got the Four of Pentacles here as well. If you are lifting any heavy objects, be careful of fingers near doors. The reason I say this is because in my mind, the image that I've got is like, you know, when somebody drops something on your hand, you know, like all that kind of stuff, or you shut a finger in the door, you know, touch wood, but be careful this week, definitely a possibility. And then for your home and environment, look, it looks like, yeah, I know, every time I get to the home and environment, everyone's like, oh, fucking hell, here it goes. Excuse my language. But yeah, it's kind of like this week, when it comes to the home, when it comes to the living situation, all of that, I think you already know that you're restless in this place. I think this week, though, you're going to come into the understanding of why. And I think a lot of this comes from that Page of Cups. This is about you really listening to what you actually need versus what you would like, versus what you have. It's like, you know what, let me just shut all of that stuff out. I know where I'm at. What I really need to figure out is where I would like to be. For your love and relations, you've got the Ace of Cups. I mean, look at this, right? If you are single, there is definitely a chance for you to be connecting with somebody this week. It comes up with the Four of Pentacles in the communications though, right? So in your center line, you've got the Lover's card, which is loving, sensual, sexy and fun. You've got the Ace of Cups, which is warm, vibrant, loving, kind, energetic. And then you've got the Four of Pentacles in the communications. And, you know, when I look at those together, I'm like, okay, this week you could be meeting somebody that is, you know, able to do all of that, but is very, very serious. Like maybe to the outside world, you and this person are like chalk and cheese, but this person presents or shows to you a side of themselves that nobody else gets to see. And that's where you connect. I actually think that's a good thing. I think, you know, who we are and how we are in our relationships behind closed doors should be private, you know, like that's how you get those little inside jokes between partners and friends. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I actually like this. Remember as well, the Ace of Cups can bring a new start or a new direction when it comes to love. So this is great. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. Now, one of the ways that this could play out very physically, very tangibly, you could meet this person on the commute to work. You could just as easily meet this person going to the bank or the supermarket, you know, doing something really mundane. It's not going to be online. This will be if you're meeting someone this week, you will be doing it out in the light of day. not behind a screen. For your home, for those of you that are partnered already, this is lovely, and it kind of suggests that even though there's going to be lots of conversations this week, maybe even, you know, some realizations, it kind of suggests that you and your partner are more than aware that the way that you get to things is very different, but you are happy to continue on the journey together. And the Ace of Cups, it kind of offers a bit of a balm or a salve for what might have been a bit challenging recently. But all in all, I actually really like this. I think it's probably one of the better weeks that Leo's had in a while. So with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.